Jaren Duthwaite takes the floor. Before we end our feast, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all, each and every one of you, for the opportunity to host this event. When I awoke 20 years ago, I toured this continent's great nations extensively and got to know each and every culture across this land as deeply as a stranger can. And I was absolutely disgusted by what you all have done to a truly once great empire. This land once stood as one, united and strong, and through each of your petty squabbles, your horrific utilitarian decision-making, you have made it weak, diseased, pathetic. One of the last great standing institutions of our nations remained only in Perian, and even that has been done away with. It simply will not do. It will not. The Empire of Abermin will rise once again, and I serve as its herald. He holds in his hand a silver spherical object. I need an investigation check from Plato and Inara as their eyes meet it.
I think also as soon as this happens, Plato's face changes to this look of just steel. Like total business.
Not unexpected for a person advocating on Perian's behalf.
19 plus 4, 23. You gotta take shots at me while I'm rolling my dice?
It was investigation, correct?
What if they hear you?
17.
You both recognize the object that he holds in his hand. It is a resonator. They're incredibly rare. They are mostly used for mining rare materials. The way that it works is it is a silver rod that at its top has this glass compartment. And with magic and enough force, the object in the top of the chamber can draw in like a magnet the same material. It is used to harvest rare materials from veins of ore, specifically within the quarries of Luxoria, as well as the ether-soaked caverns of Perian.
Question, to make sure I understand this correctly. Are we talking like an MRI with someone who has metal in their body?
Yes. It can pull with incredible force. For the safety of the user, it can only go on one side at a time. As he holds it in his hand, the Emir of Luxoria stands up to his full height. How dare you? How dare you speak of this? That empire has long since been forgotten. This continent is called Boramina now. Quickly, Jaren holds up the resonator even closer.
I stand as well. I try to like make any movement towards that. That is bad.
Inara will also jump to her feet, recognizing the contraption and also fearing for the voice of the people as the highest power in her country.
Emir, be still. No, I will not stand for this. You watch as the Emir takes a deep inhale, and in doing so, his form begins to change. As his tan dragonborn skin gives to scales, the tables around him begin to displace as the full dragon form of the Emir of Luxoria begins to form. In this exact moment, Jaren holds the resonator behind him, and in an instant, the stones within the throats of the dignitaries behind him are pulled. In a second, you watch as the blood sprays. In an instant, 4 dignitaries from each of your countries are slaughtered. It also works the other way as he repels the stones back through their throats. The Emir rests himself, the large dragon form still present and heavy in the room, breathing, unsure of what to do next.
And stay still.
Very, very slowly standing from her seat.
You watch as at the Hierophant's table, Calypso stands, his stones uneaten, the plates untouched upon his table, as he lays a hand on Sabina the Oracle and begins to cast a spell. Flashes. There's a bright pink light, and the two of them are no longer in the room as he teleports away.
Where did they go?
Jaren, the master of ceremonies, brings his fingers forward and motions for the guards of the protectorate to come forth, and they do so, following his orders without question. There's silence and kind of panic across the room, and the Gilded Rose stands. What is your intent? Jaren clears his throat. It is very simple. This world, this country, this continent will return to the great empire that founded it. All that needs to happen is the return of the emperor. To do this, I need you all. You will come willingly. We will do no such thing. You hear a dignitary of Perian speak up from the other side. He turns again, holding the resonator in his hand. You all have not eaten the stones yet. It has not made it to your table as this begins.
I need to get out of here.
You will join me in 3 groups. Come forward. They start to resist. A couple head towards the back. In this moment, the Protectorate guards begin to rush, trying to tackle anyone who's getting up or showing any sign of resistance.
What's the level of chaos here? Like,
it's just kind of budding. No one's really. It's in like the moments of disaster. Everyone's kind of looking around, wanting to do something. In this moment, two things happen. The servants that are spread throughout this place begin to tear their masks off, beginning with the chin. As they do so, the clothing quickly deflates to the ground as the air where they once stood is filled with these massive shadows, barely resembling that of a humanoid. The room quickly fills with them. The Protectorate and these shadows begin to try and make themselves a presence in the center of the room as everyone kind of sits in stunned silence. What are you all doing as they kind of begin forming groups around the people further in the ballroom?
is there windows near us?
There are no windows on the first floor, but there are on the second.
Sherilyn has a foot on either side of the fence, so she's watching the movements of her men very closely right now, casting a glance towards the door from which they came, and then back at the Protectorate, debating if she should leave and try and find the Hierophant and the Oracle, if that were even possible, or if she should stay there and help them.
Roll an insight check as you watch your men.
Dirty 20.
They are under the effect of some sort of enchantment, and their mind is not their own. In that moment, the Master of Ceremonies say, Shadows, Protectorate, kill anyone without royal blood or not currently in power. The rest bind and bring to my feet.
We need to get out of here.
In this moment, chaos erupts truly. The last sight you all see is the Gilded Rose, who turns to face you all. She takes a rose brooch off her chest and says, Enora, run! As she throws it forth, it catches in the air, and as it does so, it begins to transform into a massive wall of thorns, beautified with these roses ever present. The exit lies behind you, guarded only by the maitre d'. The wall of thorns continues to spread, blocking off this back table with the rest of the ballroom. What are we all doing? You can hear chaos erupt truly from the other side as some choose to fight back. You hear slaughter as those not in power are murdered. You hear resistance from the other side of the thorns as chaos breaks.
So you said it's just the maitre d' up there?
Yeah, let me draw the wall of thorns. That currently is...
Sorry, let me select my sorcerer spells.
Yeah, give me a second.
Sherilyn would spring up and approach the wall as close as she could without pricking herself on one of these thorns, trying to shout over the din of the crowd, Stop! Belay that order! Stop! Do not kill the innocents!
You hear the footsteps of the Templar as they seem to be cornering some folks on the other side.
Francis would stand up and seeing the wall ahead of him. There's nothing else we can do other than try and warn everyone about what's happening.
Plato points up to the exit where the maitre d' is, and then sort of looks back over at Sherilyn in the eyes and says, We are leaving.
Well, it seems we're left with little choice. I suppose you and I are aligned for this moment.
He just nods his head, and then...
And then I think Francis would start turning around and heading up towards the stairs, not really paying much mind to the maitre d' at this moment.
As the maitre d' puts his hands up, he says, I'm sorry, the feast isn't yet over, and I need all of you to roll me initiative.
He says that to us?
What's initiative?
Yeah, it feels like a weird thing for him to say. Oh boy. What classes do we have here? And we got, what? A cleric, a paladin, and you're an artificer, right, Nada?
Yep.
Well, I always like having a paladin. Makes you feel safe.
It gives you the warm and fuzzies.
I feel very safe with myself. I can't say anything for you.
She decapitates the maitre d' and then keeps running. Oracle, Oracle, and we're just like, oh, is she going to stay?
I guess we're going.
Yes. So I've already selected my subclass because it comes at level 1 with sorcerers, I believe.
As the combat begins, the maitre d' tears off his mask. In doing so, his face begins to enlarge, his body transforming into this massive beast made of shadow and these red tendrils of energy spreading from out his chest. He begins to fill the staircase entirely, blocking your exit. There is no escape. This massive shadow creature blocking the entirety of the staircase, the one egress to the scene that is laid out before you. Some of the most important people of each of your cultures behind this wall of thorns. You can hear the chaos and slaughter occurring behind. Inara, you are up first. Your mother has cast this spell to create this wall of thorns to give you an opportunity to escape. It is your turn as this reality sets in. What do you do?
Inara's trying very hard not to be distracted by her mother or to try to turn back and look for her. Instead, she focuses on this being in front of them and is trying to channel all of that fear and rage towards it and puts her hands up and casts Firebolt.
Fire extends from your fingertips. Go ahead and roll to hit.
12 to hit.
The maitre d' is an easy target, a massive swath of shadow. A 12 manages to hit as your fireball courses from your hands and makes contact. Go ahead and roll damage.
8 points of fire damage.
A strong hit to start as the fire spreads throughout the chest of this being. It begins to burn away the shadow, lessening the mass of the creature before you. Any bonus action or movement?
Inara will jump onto the table and take like a defensive stance, crouching with her fur and tail standing.
Inara, do you make cat sounds?
Yeah, she is hissing and spitting. Absolutely. But I don't have any bonus actions to do, so that will be it for me.
Brings us to Francis.
Francis will see this monstrosity appear before him, and he reach into his robe and pull out these prayer beads, quickly start spinning them around, and look at this creature and say, no, I think we will be leaving. Like a slingshot motion, he'll cast Guiding Bolt.
Hell yeah, roll to hit.
19.
It definitely hits. What does your guiding bolt look like as it courses through these prayer beads?
So as he's spinning it, like kind of like this radiant light starts building up its energy, and then literally as he flicks with his wrist, a single orb of radiance just kind of flies towards the creature.
The impact is immense as the entire being begins to shake and distort under their holy radiant light.
That's 19.
The being seems particularly weak to this type of damage, as your 19 is doubled due to vulnerability to a total of
Destroy him.
38 damage at level 1. As the being himself begins to dissipate, kind of breaking apart, guttural screams coming out of the kind of half mask that remains. As you approach, fighting him back with the power of your belief. Any bonus action or movement?
He is also just gonna walk forward off away from the table and kind of take center stage in front of the stairs. His beads in one hand and his shield in the other.
Francis takes a defensive position, heading directly towards the staircase. That brings us to Plato's turn.
So how high up is the second level?
The second level is a good 30 feet up.
Too far for my blood.
As you look back, you see the bards that were playing music throughout this event on the balconies just try and scrape and claw against the locked doors on the second floor.
Is this looking hurt, this thing, yet? I know it's taken some hits.
Yeah, with the glow that surrounds it, it does seem dissipated in its form.
I step up, moving. I am so weak and small. I move behind, just a little bit over here, closer to the wall of thorns, behind my new friend Francis, and I will raise my hand, and the maitre d' hears a bunch of rushing water and noises of scraping and metal as I try and cast dissonant whispers on it.
Heck yeah, that's a wisdom saving throw.
Yes, please.
You know, maitre d's have to study a while. They become incredibly wise. That would be a 9 total.
Excellent. It that will fail my wisdom 12. So it will take 3d6, I believe, psychic damage, which is going to be 6. But on a failed save, it must use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Yeah, absolutely. With your current position, the beast scrambles its full 30 feet of movement, just immediately climbing onto the walls. Its appendages forming out of its shadow as it forms these many arms that kind of carry it across the balcony of the second floor, further away from you, clearing the exit way from the ballroom back to that grand staircase leading to the Valley of the Ancients.
For fun, because I can do this as a bonus action, Plato looks back over at Sherilyn, and she hears in her head, not me saying out loud, she hears my no mouth staying closed, hears, all right, are you ready to go?
She makes a surprised facial expression, but one of thoughtfulness, and says, "Well, that's a good trick." Out loud.
Yes, I can communicate with you telepathically for the next minute.
Noted.
I am an aberrant mind sorcerer.
Ooh.
Yeah. Rob thought I was going to do storm sorcery.
I did.
I know.
Anything else in your go, Plato?
Nope, I think I moved as far as I... let me see. I moved over to here. I think I will start to maybe sneak towards the stairs here. Trying to look confident about us leaving.
It is this massive shadow beast, this transformed maitre d', still glowing from the impact of the guiding bolt, who begins to, with incredible speed, just scurry down the balcony of the second floor, scaling the 30 feet and leaping directly towards Francis. In mid-flight, it extends these two shadow tendrils, one heading directly for Plato's chest, the other for Francis's, as it lands with a hiss on the floor. It is hurt, but will not go down without a fight.
You said it's attacking, or is it?
It is. It is sending two shadow tendrils, one towards Francis, one towards Plato.
As the tendril shoots out towards Francis, he's going to use Warding Flare, and kind of a wall of light just appears in front of him.
Hell yeah, that imposes disadvantage, right?
Yep.
What color are these lights?
They are of a yellowish red, almost.
All right, Francis, with disadvantage, that brings it down to a 6 total to hit.
That misses.
As the tendril goes wide, this light kind of momentarily distorting the tendril, kind of phasing it out of reality as the attack completely phases through your body. The second tendril extends toward Plato.
Does it hit me?
It's going to be a natural 20.
I don't think I can do anything against that. I was going to use shield. Oh, wait, I can. For I have silvery barbs. Can I cast that if I've already cast a spell on my turn?
Of course, it's using a reaction. Will you describe to me what the sound of these silvery barbs is, what the effect is as you change the fate here? As the tendril is going directly through your heart, you know you have to do something as you use your magic defensively to change the fate. What does this look like?
Yes, I think there's a spray of water, sort of from maybe from the wound or from his arm, and we see refracted in the droplets the different futures, and we zoom into the one where he is not hit, or at least is not hit critically.
As I roll another d20, let's see what future we end up in. That is going to be an 11 total.
I think that will still hit, but it will not be critical.
That's going to be 8 points of necrotic damage total.
Well, that does down me, so someone will have to help me.
This creature has very little life remaining in it, focusing all of its energy into these attacks.
Yeah, I think as you see the attack sort of spring off, it looks like a piece of water in the air, but it still hits Plato very hard and he crumples on the staircase.
Getting thrown back into the railing of the staircases. With that, the Shadow Beast's turn ends, and Sherilyn, that is your go.
Seeing the Shadow Beast jump down off the railing, lunging.
It is still glowing, right?
The two of them. Yes. She takes the shield from her back and draws her long sword, rounding the table to step in between Plato, who's now on the floor, and Francis, who is quite capably defending himself, much to her surprise. She says, "Allow me, sirs." And she will swing her sword into the chest of the shadow creature.
So with advantage as Francis's light guides your blow.
Ooh. Okay. 18 to hit.
Will definitely hit.
For 9 slicing damage total.
9 slicing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Sherilyn, how do you want to do this?
As it's lunged forward in its attack, crouched down on all 4 of its gangly limbs, she charges between and arches up her sword through where the neck of this creature should be. This tendrily it almost looks like hair, how fine it is, the mane of it coming off of its body completely as it dissipates.
With that, we are going to stay in initiative as Plato is still currently unconscious, which brings us to Inara's turn.
Inara will rush over to where Plato is on the ground and cast Cure Wounds.
What does your Cure Wounds look like, Inara?
Inara runs over to where Plato is lying on the ground and quickly pulls her bag off of her shoulder and digs through it and adds some sort of shimmering powder into a vial of this clear liquid. And as soon as it's added to it, it starts to glimmer these iridescent shades of purple and pink. And she lifts up Plato's head and quickly pours it down his throat.
Oh, that happened. Spicy. That's spicy.
Perhaps we should be leaving now.
Yeah, we could do with the spicy later. There's worse things occurring around us. She says as she pulls him to his feet and tries to shake him.
He clicks back in right away. He's not goofing. He's happy to be back up. He's on his feet. He's looking back. Let's go.
I'll go last. I'll cover you.
Thank you for intervening.
As you all leave, you hear one final command given over the chaos on the other side of this thorn wall, in the voice of this stranger, this invader who claimed to be from an empire that once existed in this land. First platoon, continue to the Blood Seal near Netter's Rally. Second platoon, the Blood Seal near Kuna. Third platoon to the Blood Seal near the Oasis. Bring them to the seal and keep them there, captive and alive until you hear further. I'm going to rendezvous with the Hierophant at the Great Tomb in Medea. Send to me when in position and not a moment beforehand. As you all charge out of the ballroom, this last echo, you head down these massive staircases of stone, and you see a figure standing completely still on the 4th step headed up towards you all. You kind of regard this figure as you all head down, the armor immediately giving them away as a member of the Protectorate.
Running at the back of the party, she calls ahead to him. Sir Harrow?
No response.
She skids to a halt, short, and goes, whoa, like you would to a horse to the rest of the party. Hold on.
Sorry. Inara, how much healing did I get back, since we might be fighting again?
Right. It was 6 plus 3, so 9.
Thank you. Plato holds up, sort of holding his hurt self in the shoulder, just waiting for whatever it is Sherilyn needs us to do.
She'd step between everyone so that she's in the front, slowly approaching him. She has a defensive stance, one foot in front of the other, about waist length apart, as she's like stalking towards him with distrust. She calls his name again. Sir Harrow?
As you draw closer, the smell of death and rot hit your nose. You see now in the daylight coming from the first floor at the bottom of the staircase, the man's face, his helmet gone, a look of worry in his face. You can tell by his posture that he is rushing up these stairs with great import. His body is decaying and locked into place. It seems like he's been dead for a long time now, even though you just spoke to him less than 30 minutes ago. His body completely sealed in this decay on the middle of the stairs.
I fear this man is a friend no longer.
Let's hurry. We have to get out of here quickly.
She would rush him, with her sword drawn.
You do so, and the body collapses almost onto dust as it falls beneath your force. Lifeless.
She grimaces and says, "Forgive me. Come on, let's keep going."
Whatever you say.
Okay.
As you all make your leave of the Grand Plateau back into the large space of the Valley of Ancients. Firstly, as you all pass by this degraded corpse at the end of the staircase, the stench hits all of your noses as well, but it is amplified greatly when the doors open to the Feast of the Commons outside, as you see just miles of these corpses standing upright, still mid-meal, decaying, just rows and rows of rotting flesh to your countrymen who arrived with you in these carriages and were not part of the feast.
Inara starts screaming her sister's names, and as tears fall down her face, she collapses to her knees, trying to identify them within the crowd, but also hoping she doesn't see any likeness to them in the crowd.
Before she can go anywhere, Sherilyn hooks her arms under her shoulders to try and hold her back from charging into a very dangerous situation, and says, "My lady, you must calm yourself."
Do you have her?
My sisters! My sisters! And she tries to reach out towards the crowd. Does she recognize anything that might indicate her sisters were amongst the group?
You scan through the crowd and you see a few familiar faces, a couple leaders of the trades guilds from Luxoria, merchants that you have spent time with regularly throughout the crowd, as you see their features still preserved despite the decay that has occurred within their skin and body. Your sisters you do not spot as your eyes glance across the crowd immediately outside of the plateau.
This is a nightmare, she says as she falls back against Sherilyn's frame, needing some support to stay upright, but gaining some solace in the fact that she did recognize some faces, but not her sisters.
Plato is looking for where we can go that is away from here, like the nearest tree line, the nearest rocky structure. The amount of death, he took it in and passed it by. We got to keep moving.
There's quite a few rocky structures and outcrops available here in these like kind of monolithic structures. You could find a hiding spot amongst them. In terms of trees, the nearest trees would be the forest of Medea to the north, quite a few miles.
Not
There
there.
is, of course, immediately coming to Sherilyn's mind is the stables, the place where all of the horses are kept, which is pretty close to the Grand Plateau of the Ancient Valley, just kind of on the outskirts of this building structure.
Yes, do these corpses, do they respond to Inara's cries in any way? No.
They, like statues of decay, stay completely still in the positions that they were in, eating, laughing, exchanging pleasantries. They stay there, a monument.
Confident that they are not going to spring on them the second they make any other sound, she, supporting Inara with one of her arms, brings her fingers to her lips and makes a shrill whistle to call out to her horse.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an animal handling check. At advantage.
11.
With a sharp whistle and just a few moments passing, you all hear the thunderous footsteps of a beautiful black horse that storms across the ancient valley, the dead earth, the ashen soil kicking up beneath its feet as it heads towards its loyal master, Sherilyn.
Being a quite tall horse, she will then put her shield onto her back and take Inara's weight. Is she resisting any of this?
No,
Okay.
she's walking along with you.
She takes Inara by the wrist and lifts her up so that she can sit on Harkin's back.
Ara follows along and climbs onto the horse's back.
We should find high ground, somewhere that we can watch.
I agree, but we stay away from the forest.
So yeah, whatever of the stone outcroppings seems like it could sort of start leading us. I'm not looking for like a direct climb upwards, you know what I'm saying? But like a ridge maybe that we can spot.
Yeah, you all find this kind of half-destroyed tower with this staircase that kind of leads up to this set of other destroyed buildings that seem like a, if not a good hiding spot, at least a complex enough one where you'll see the people coming before you get found. That will work. There's also just like fully covered structures that could be hidden but don't grant as much of a view, kind of readily available. The tower is still pretty close to the plateau, but it does seem like, at first glance, a pretty decent hiding spot.
I look back at Francis and Sherilyn and I say, up to you. Should we run or try and hide and wait them out?
I feel as though there's not much else we can do in this place itself. From what that person was talking, this extends beyond just this Peacemeet. And I fear that other places will share a similar fate if we do not spread the word.
We must get back to the cities and warn them. You heard what they said. They were dispatching more of their forces to our homes.
Except to mine. I admit this does not do well for my country's reputation.
Well, they were your countrymen, she says with a scathing look towards you.
They were.
They left you behind.
It appears so.
We can save the bickering for later. For now, we need to leave.
Yeah, so where are we going?
I think it sounds like we're trying to fully clear the area.
Get out of the...
Get far enough away that... Yeah.
So where are we going?
So we're not going towards the forest.
No.
Which is less treacherous.
But I would of course say if we should go to Netos Valley, we would have to go over the mountains, but it is not far.
If we can make it across the desert, if you think you can survive the harsh conditions, maybe we can make it to Dar al-Yaqin.
We do not have supplies to last out the desert, as we are.
Y'all are kind of walking with this horse at a fast pace, clearing the Valley of the Ancients. You do hear, on the other side of the valley, the sounds of carts and horses arriving, as it seems some other force is arriving here.
As much as I would like to go to Netos Valley, Inara has a point. We will be harder to track and find in the desert if she can give us a way there.
Hearing that there are more people approaching, she would guide the horse behind a particularly large piece of the dilapidated building so they could hide behind it even as tall as they are.
Yes, I'm crouching behind the horse. Can you and will you be able to get us there safely, you think?
I believe so. I still think the forest is safer because you're right, we are not equipped. And I have met people who have survived your so-called impassable forest.
What are you suggesting?
That we at least get to the edge of the forest, hide out, and then make a more concrete plan moving forward. But we cannot stay here, and I will not let my mother's sacrifice be in vain.
The edge of the forest is no stranger to me. That sounds amenable.
All right, so we head northeast to the corner there.
And go
Hide
around.
and go around.
She's peeking out at the contingent that would be arriving.
Sounds like we're trying to go like here-ish. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Yeah, like right to the edge.
Roll me a perception check as Sherilyn eyes over the arriving caravans. As you guys kind of stealthily move across the Valley of the Ancients, hiding behind these different monostructures.
That's a nat 20 plus 2.
You have a very clear line of sight into what's happening here as these 3 sets of carts begin to arrive, and you see these massive shadow beings carrying, wrapped tight in rope, different people you know from the feast and loading them into these carts. 3 different sets of carts. They don't seem to be caring about what groups they belong to, as you see Brooke Dreger from Perian, as well as the Gilded Rose, be tied up tightly and loaded into the same cart. They seem to be filling these caravans with tied up members of the feast.
How many of these shadow people are there?
At least 12 to your vision, as well as the 3 protectorate guards who seem to still be carrying different. You see one protectorate guard who is carrying Princess Min carefully in his arms as she's just like pumping her fists against his chest. He seems unbothered as he kind of like throws her body tied up into the back of the same cart.
So do we just let them get away with it, or do we try to distract them and free some of the captors?
We are vastly outnumbered, and I do not think we have the strength it takes to make a significant difference.
Unfortunately, our run-in with that maitre d' has drained me of my magic stamina for the day.
There's only so many potions I have on my hand, on myself.
No big swords for us.
Better hope that they arrive at their destinations in one piece.
I think he needs them. Oh wait, maybe I can roll. May I roll Arcana, or can I just assume based off of my magic knowledge?
I think you can assume. He said blood seal.
Yeah, I think they need a certain amount of them alive for whatever ritual he is planning. It gives us a timeline, so I would like to know more.
The rest of the party would be more familiar with the locations that they mentioned.
Yes.
Where is the closest carriage arriving?
I think Netta's Valley would be very close, but they would have to get through the mountains.
That will delay them.
I shall mark on the map with a yellow star the 3 locations that were named. Oh, actually, one of them we don't know. They just said oasis. There were many oases in Luxoria.
So that is a downside to maybe going.
One can assume they're going to head towards the capital.
This is a good point, actually. What is the cart pulled by?
Oh, yeah, massive black shadow horses. They look almost similar to your mount, but instead are just kind of devoid of light that hits them.
It makes her pull the reins tighter on her own.
So we sneak around through the shadows over to the tree line?
Directly.
We should get moving before they get closer and our chances dwindle.
You see the first loaded caravan take out with a flash, headed due south.
I do believe that we should allow ourselves the opportunity to save them later rather than risk it now.
It seems we're in agreement. We should head out.
She turns her horse and starts walking northwards towards the edge of the forest.
I follow. I'm not going in there before her.
Yeah, Francis and I think Plato would kind of lag behind the horse.
He said due south, right?
That's where the caravan was going, yeah.
But we're going north-ish.
Yeah, I'm trying to narrow down what oasis they might be going to. It seems like they're going due south into the desert, so they may turn. I will make a note of this.
I need a stealth check from everybody as you all continue throughout the Valley of the Ancients.
13.
22 for Inara.
19.
As you all continue forth, there is this set of structures that you have to hide by, or else you're a little bit too much out in the open, and it gets you real close to this caravan as it's being loaded. As you all stay close to the walls, you do remain out of sight, except right as you turn a corner, Plato, you make direct eye contact with Arcadio. His face opens wide. What do you do?
I lift up my hand. Oh, how far away is he?
A good 100 feet.
I hold a finger up to my mouth, say like, don't say anything that I'm here. And then I just look at him and I nod. I try to look reassuring. I try to mouth I'll come back for you.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Wait, the one I did bad at earlier. It's this exact guy. All right, that's a 15.
You see, he quickly looks away after receiving this message as to ensure he does not give your position away. As he does this, he is thrown carelessly into the back of a caravan, and it takes off due northwest. The party continues, unseen, crossing the Valley of the Ancients, seeing now ground that has been completely blown away to form these kind of massive craters that have to be walked around. The land around is open now, but it doesn't seem that any caravans have followed you this way. As the four of you continue, the forest due north, visible within your eye line now that you've cleared the structures of the Valley of the Ancients. Also visible, just in the starting eye line of this forest, as you look off in the distance, the very tips of a volcano.
What? That's impossible. The volcano was gone long ago.
What? You've developed a new volcano?
It is new to me.
Didn't you just travel across this very area in your contraptions?
We went around the cliffside, down in the water. We couldn't possibly have seen inside the forest. She'd notably be guiding the horse just far enough from the line of the forest that its hooves are not quite touching the land of it.
Yes. Perhaps we can find a small space to rest sort of at the crook there in the mountains and the forest.
You guys are fleeing the scene of the feast and have just gleaned your first sight of the volcano in the distance, kind of in the mid-center point of the forest to the south of Medea. The land around you is ashen and filled with death, but as you all kind of crest one of these massive craters created in the earth, you see along the hillside leading down into the forest entrance much more intact buildings that look like a small town or civilization. They're all picked over as well, but within these ruins, you see kind of domicile structures. It seemed there's a small settlement here that wasn't as destroyed as the center pillars of the ancient valley. It is dark. It is incredibly dark as nighttime has come. It is actually kind of unnaturally dark. Anyone who would like to roll me a nature check on kind of this eerie darkness that kind of is overtaking you all may do so.
So the darkness is unnatural?
How dark it is strikes you.
Are we in the forest or just outside?
We're still quite a few miles from the forest. The forest is on the edge of the ancient of the valleys, and you have to traverse like the entire middle to northern sector, which is quite a few miles of these kind of cratered earth and destroyed structures.
Not all of us have big horses to ride either.
Inara will, seeing how dark it is, Inara's going to like start rifling through her bag, the satchel at her waist, and you see her take out an empty, like, small flask. And then she starts like you don't understand what she's doing because she's not really putting anything into it, but she's like engraving something onto the glass itself with her dagger. As she uses her magical tinkering, the flask starts shedding bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light for an additional 5 feet.
Almost immediately as this light is cast across the earth, you all hear the beating of huge wings begin to flap. Coming down from the high towers, you see as these massive moth-like creatures begin to emerge out of the darkness. As
Put
they
that
begin
out.
to zero in on the light, I need you all to roll me initiative.
Damn it.
Damn it.
I did roll a nature check. I got a 17 before this happened. No? Okay.
I mean, the thing you notice with that nature check is
the moth.
Is not the moths, is that you realize there's no moonlight piercing the sky above. Everywhere else you are, you can see the light of the moon kind of come through the skyline. You look, there aren't clouds blocking it. For some reason, the moonlight is unable to pierce in the nighttime of the Valley of the Ancients, as you all experience your first night here. As these massive moths swoop down, I have 2 token options for this. I would like you to please let me know which one you find most upsetting.
20. Let's go.
That damn light out.
Yeah, Sherilyn tries to cover it with her cloak, but it's too late.
I mean, she can put it out, but it's too late. Like, they're coming, so might as well have some light to see what we're doing.
All right, so there's this one.
Fair enough.
And then this one. So the one on the left is definitely more my vision of what's coming at you, for sure. But the one on the right has all these scary eyes and mouth. So what do we think?
The one on the right is,
Yeah, those look like something out of Remnant. Most upsetting, probably the left.
Yeah.
Left? Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's
I feel
go
like I'm
ahead
getting
and
dive bombed.
put ourselves on the map, kind of in the bottom right-hand corner here. Like, right, you all are cameras on while we record this podcast, and the players could see, I think, my absolute look of delight and glee as Inara started to cast the light spell.
We thought you were delighted for a very different reason. 2 of us are currently on 1 horse right now.
That's very true.
How are we handling the horse?
It's
handling the horse.
It's your horse, so
That's the name of this
Carefully
episode.
then.
I think,
Handling the horse.
I think if you guys were to measure the map, you would see that the horse is probably going to be important here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What stat block should I use for the horse?
You can use a riding horse.
A riding horse. Okay.
is the ground broken up?
So this used to be a bridge covering the ground. The bridge was probably much higher up, but all of this like town structure that you're kind of walking through as the forest you head further north to, has just been laid waste to. So the bridge is kind of crumbled on the ground. It's all pretty even ground here. As the moths kind of begin their descent and flight towards you all start to kind of realize the size of them. Their wingspan easily 30 feet, 40 feet. As they begin to descend, 3 of them make their presence known as they begin swooping down on the light.
Yeah, seeing them coming at us, and Inara's on the horse with you, Sherilyn, right?
Yes, you're sitting in front of me.
Yeah, so she's got like front seat to this. She screams a little and goes, "What the fuck are those? What do I do?" And then she turns to look at you with the light in her hand, like not sure if she should turn it out or keep it on.
She's got an arm on either side of your waist as she's reached around to grab hold of the horse's reins, and she pulls, urging the horse to stop, its neck tossing, turning slightly away, and she says, "This is why we don't go near the forest."
God's sake, it's not the time for your theories and conspiracies. What the hell are those?
You think I should know?
Is this not your forest?
We don't go in the forest.
Moss, the moss.
Will you roll me a initiative for the horse? whose name I believe is Harkin. Harkin the horse, the black, powerful draft horse.
Inara turns to look at Plato and Francis. I'm still waiting on an answer for the light on, off.
7 for the horse.
I would toss it.
Well, she doesn't need to toss it. She can like twist the flask and it turns off, almost like a light switch.
Perhaps we'll be faster.
It is your turn up top, so it is up to you, I think.
Yeah. As we get initiative started, I'm gonna move these moths a bit to represent the one round that they were able to get movement going. 60 right there. They do not move quickly as you see them swoop their massive form down from the top of these towers towards you all. Inara, at the start of initiative, it is your go. You have dark vision.
Yes.
So you do see them in shades of gray, but it is kind of still hard to make out the detail at this distance.
She turns to Sherilyn and asks, "Can we get a little closer?" As she holds her hand up and gets ready to cast the firebolt cantrip. Literally, just need us to be like 10 feet closer so that that one is within range.
Sounds good. You're holding your action to cast Firebolt. What does a Firebolt look like when Inara casts it?
So, holding on to her dagger that she was using for her magic tinkering, she starts to she holds it up to her chest and starts to chant in a tongue that none of you really recognize unless any of you have been to Luxoria before. As she holds her other hand up towards the moss, and a light starts to form in the palm of her hand and grows as it moves farther away from her.
Love that. Yeah, so as soon as you get within range of the moth, which is probably going to happen now as it begins flying closer to you, that'll be triggered. So you don't even need to wait for the horse to move. Anything else in your go?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. I am staying on this horse with her.
Thank you for your trust in us.
More like the horse will probably get us farther away than if I were to run on my own 2 feet, but sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Plato, now you on your own.
Just met you, but we are both in this shit together.
Fine, I see how it is.
The men will walk.
Yeah, we'll be fine doing whatever, not on a horse.
I was gonna say, if I move forward, does it mean Sherilyn and the horse also move forward with me?
No, because you don't have we have to wait for the horse's turn for the.
Yeah, the horse has to move, and the horse is.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Mike.
Right,
no,
so
you're good.
That brings us to one of these giant moths, this kind of massive creature with these smaller wings that seems to carry it clumsily across the air. As they sail towards you, it's going to use its action to dash to move its full 50 feet of movement closer to the group here. As it does so, the front half of this creature begins to open. And those who have dark vision can see in the shades of gray, the kind of gray face of this thing. In the light, this kind of black and gold massive moth begins to separate its mouth. And as the creature kind of opens it, like from the top to the mouth, you just see this black void, this massive void in the center of this creature. As it begins to open, as it slowly drifts through the air closer and closer to you all.
Is the Perian the only one without dark vision?
Wait, who said that? Where are you?
You'll have to look up, I'm afraid.
I don't want to.
That brings us to the end of this creature's turn. With that, it is in range for the firebolt. Anar, if you would like to roll to hit.
Okay, 15 to hit.
That definitely hits.
No, thank God. Okay, that's 9 points of fire damage.
Hell yeah. As the fire kind of engulfs this thing, you watch the end parts of it kind of burn away as the ash falls to the ground. All that remains as this creature's bloodied is this kind of giant void gaping mouth that kind of sails through the air like a balloon now, without the wings getting closer and closer. But it is hurt from the impact of this blow.
As soon as it like lights up, she like Inara claps a little giddily. She goes, "Oh yay, they're flammable!" And then turns to look at Plato and goes, "Now can you see it?"
Yes. So once again, I wish I did not.
All right, that will be the other giant moth's turn. It is going to take the same action and use its action to dash to cover more ground in the air. As again, it kind of clumsily flies through. It too begins to separate its mouth and showcase this kind of massive black void inside of the heart of the creature. Kind of all of its innards are this gleaming dark blackness that you can feel this hunger kind of protruding from as you cast your eyes upon it. Which brings us to Sherilyn.
How far in the air are they?
They're about 20 feet up as they drift down, using most of their movement to kind of go down from the top of the standing tower.
Okay. As they begin their descent and Inara casts this fireball, the horse is very confident about the moat, doesn't seem very afraid of it at all, remains very still. But Sherilyn will urge the horse forward. This seems like uneven terrain.
All of it is kind of ruined and on the same playing field. So it might be a little bit difficult where like the cracks are and the uneven nature, but it's not at a higher plateau than the ground level here.
She's very assured about being able to protect Inara on this horse, so she will urge the horse towards the enemy, which will happen on the horse's turn. And she will hold... Actually, while in movement, she will use her attack action to throw a javelin at the target that is now aflame, directed at the gaping maw that she can see outlined in fire, which she'll do now.
Fuck yeah, roll me attack. As the javelin loosens from Sherilyn's hands.
A dirty 20.
Oh, hell yeah. Dead center target, right where that, as the maw is finishing escape, the outer layers of this moth's head kind of wrap back around the maw, and you hit dead center in what is now the face of this creature. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
Amazing. Ooh. 7 piercing damage.
Hell yeah. Sherilyn, as this javelin pierces directly through the center of this creature, like a balloon, you hear this deflation noise as the creature begins to slowly drift to the ground, defeated, deflated, and dead.
One less we have to worry about, and that will be her turn.
What are these things?
That brings us to you, Francis.
Whatever they are, I don't want to find out. With his turn, Francis will look at the one that is now directly ahead of them that hasn't been touched yet, and taking out his rosary beads again, he'll start twirling them with his wrist. He's going to palm them in his hand as the light starts glowing from it, and lift his hand up and then swipe it down as he casts the cantrip Sacred Flame. So that moth needs to take a dex saving throw.
Dex saving throw. Got a +3 to this. It's going to be a 7 + 3 for 10.
That fails.
Roll me that bad boy cleric damage.
5 radiant damage.
Oh yeah, you see this kind of pulse of light fill this void for a second as it kind of dissipates into the darkness.
Yeah, he's going to very much like keep an eye on that one that's in front of them and be like, well, that one's getting dangerously close. And he kind of looks behind him towards Plato. It's like, your turn.
Plato, it is your turn.
I look forward at the one ahead. I step I look at it, and I take my Vata arm and I sort of throw it. I sort of flick up, and you see like water droplets flying towards the moth in the air, and then one of the water droplets reforms into a hand in the air and just sort of grabs at it as I cast Chill Touch. So that'll be +4.
So cool. Does the hand come back?
It does.
Or does
I
it
mean,
evaporate?
the water. The water. 1 second, please. I got an 18, 14 +4.
That definitely hits.
So there's
Excellent.
time to flatter the Perian.
Well, you'll get your time in the forest.
1 second. It is a D8.
Inara will turn and look at you, but you are like driving the horse and keeping her safe, so she is going to hold her tongue, but she did turn and give you a look like, really? Now?
Your life is firmly in my hands.
Oh, goodness.
I believe all of our lives depend on each other right now, she says as she turns back around.
That is 4 points of damage, necrotic. It cannot regain hit points until the start of its next turn.
Did you say necrotic?
Yes, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it seems the necrotic damage does do something to it as it begins to decay, but this thing seems to be made of decay in this darkness. It is only unfortunately going to take half damage from that.
Well,
But it can regain hit points?
does it happen to be undead, technically?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes.
So if it is undead, it also had disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn.
That is important. It is definitely undead.
Excellent. And then my very weak butt runs backwards to the rear of the group. Sort of where it is darker and where I am not in the immediate light that I assume Inara is still holding.
I love that.
No, Inara turned the light off on her at the beginning of her turn. She twisted the flask shut and put it back in her bag.
Excellent. I did not know if you did that or if that was theoretical. So good. But I am
No. She did that at the beginning of her turn, hoping not to attract any more of these.
No, you can't see shit.
Yes, so I just sort of back up very carefully, trying not to trip over any rocks.
Watch the horse.
I do not know what that means.
That brings us to the third moth, who is going to use their movement and then is actually going to use their action to attempt to hide amongst the darkness of the sky. As you see the creature kind of make its whole body that dark void. I'm going to roll myself a stealth check. Wisdom based. Any wisdom based? What's the highest passive perception we got?
Nars is 12.
Perception, 13.
Passive. As this moth kind of takes off from the tower and begins to descend and use its movement to get closer, you all lose sight of it completely as it seems to slip into the darkness of the air.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Anyone see where that other one went?
Which brings us to Harkin's turn, the horse.
Unfortunately not. Which one is hiding?
Well, you can't see it.
Okay.
There's only two left. There's
Yes.
one in front of you that you do see in shades of
Yes.
gray, and then the other
Thank
one you do not see.
Okay. That was the clarification I was looking for. Height now?
The moth's about 15 feet off the ground.
Okay, a horse is about...
That's about 18 hands off the ground.
I was gonna say, you could probably reach it from horseback.
Yeah,
probably?
I'd say so. This thing is massive, so there's parts of it you could probably reach for sure.
Okay. With the snap of the reins, her heels digging into the side of the horse, Harkin is urged forward in a gallop towards this void-ridden moth creature that is still visible.
Wait. I know I said my life is in your hands, but don't get closer to it.
Regardless of her caution, Sherilyn's arms are firmly around Inara's sides to hold her still as they swing into a gallop right up to this moth creature. The horse rears up and attempts to gut punch it with its hooves.
You see the moth is the size of you, the horse, and Inara all combined as you charge right up to it.
Harkin critically fails
You watch as the hoof of the horse disappears into the void, the maw of the creature before you. The horse tries to pull it out, but it is stuck.
Okay, well, Inara's weight sort of slides on the saddle towards Cheryl, and she is holding on for dear life to the neck of this horse to hold both of you atop of it, still as the horse balances on its rear legs.
All right, that is your go as you watch the hoof up to like kind of the elbow joint of this horse disappear into the blackness of the mouth of the creature ahead of you.
Do not to go closer to the thing, she says, and then Inara will actually, using her cat reflexes and agility, stand up on the saddle and jump off.
She has no witty remark for you as you wiggle out of her grasp off the horse.
Yeah, she wiggles out of her grasp and then jumps off in the hopes that, taking her weight off of the horse can give it some more more of a chance, really. And then turns back and again holds up her hand at the moth while she brings the dagger to her chest and starts chanting in different tongue, her paw, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a choice or if tabaxis
Don't
are...
want to commit to the full paw. I see how it is.
Well, I don't know. I need to look this up. Do tabaxis have paws or hands?
Don't you have a claw attack as part of your racial abilities? I think that you probably would have a paw if that were the case.
I mean, yeah, I thought she could have a hand and then cat claws like come out. She holds her hand up and it starts to glow as the light gathers in the center of her hand and turns into this little firebolt. And then she casts her cantrip again at the center of the disgusting moth, hoping that she can get it off of the horse.
The entire side of this being, as the light forms in your hand, you watch eyes just open along the entire rib cage as just endless eyes just begin opening in response to this flame, all looking directly at you, just appearing along its side.
The horse is very brave, but it does whinny at that and struggle more against the hold of the maw.
Once she's done chanting, Inara starts going, ew, 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 and you see her flinching away, but still holding her hand up, trying to get the rest of her body as far away from the eyes as possible. And she's like, I think I'm realizing a new phobia here. That is +5. 19 to hit.
Definitely hit.
Please be a high roll. That's another 9 points of fire damage.
And Nara, how do you want to do this?
As she's shrinking away and squealing, ew, ew, no, close your eyes. I think her panic makes the firebolt bigger than she was anticipating, and it sort of immediately hits all the eyes, setting them ablaze as this thing starts to sputter and deflate and sort of melt into nothingness in the ground.
Hell yeah. Anything else on your go as this creature falls? Just, again, deflating kind of like a balloon, just kind of gently falls completely to the ground, lifeless.
Well, there's still one unaccounted for, so she will stay close to the horse and actually I feel like she would walk up to the front of the horse and kind of check on its hoof, the one that was stuck in the moth.
All 4 hooves land firmly on the ground. There's a staining on its legs up to its knee joint, and it's pawing at the ground uncomfortably and snorting, but seems otherwise okay.
Inara will gently pat the horse's neck and mane as she tries to calm it down. And then with one of her hands, will reach into her pouch and take out a vial of what looks to be just spring water, like a cleansing solution, and pours it on the horse's leg, trying to calm it down.
It remains very still for you. It has a very steady demeanor for a horse. You can tell it was probably trained for this purpose or something like this purpose.
I
Brave
dare a DM to
boy.
come at me and say that someone can't use their bonus action to clean the leg of a horse, okay? I don't care if it's using an object. I don't give a shit. That's allowed. You can clean a horse's leg as a bonus action. I'll always allow that. All right. Anything
That's
else
why
on
you're
your
our
go?
favorite DM.
Cleaning is a bonus action.
Anything else on your go?
No, that's it for me.
Sounds good. That brings us to Sherilyn.
Is anyone helping Plato transverse the darkness, or is he just stumbling around?
A silly question. Absolutely not. Well,
She took
we
the horse.
have lost sight of our last enemy.
She told me to watch the horse, and then she galloped away with it.
Well, it's not my fault that he's unaware of staying away from a horse's back legs. We do know that the moths are attracted to light, though. Where did you put your lantern object? Glowing vial? Is it visible on your person?
It's no longer glowing. It's in my pouch, but we can always turn it back on. The inscription is on the flask.
Are you standing? You're still standing just below the horse. Okay. Sherilyn would reach down to take the object. Can she do that as her action?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. She reaches down to take the lantern from Inara.
Inara will take it out of her bag and hand it over.
Hoisting it.
Before she lets go of it, like she hands it over, but she keeps a hand on it and goes, "What are you going to do?"
What else am I going to do? I'm going to attract the creature.
Son of a bitch, she says as she lets go and lets you have it anyway.
Could I ask you a question, my lady? If you lose a spider in a room, do you wait for it to reappear, or would you rather find it right away?
Sherilyn, I'll even let you turn the light back on as part of this action if you'd like.
I would be delighted. Having seen how Inara has done this before, she will then hold the lamp aloft and screwing motion on, I think you said, was it the top or the bottom?
It was a top. It's like a flask.
The top. Yes. She'll make the clockwise screwing motion on the top to re-alight it.
Almost immediately, the moth's presence is felt almost right above you. As you see the many, many eyes open, it cannot help but make itself known in this moment as it kind of sinks down just a bit, and all of these kind of white eyes opening among the darkness in your dark vision, making it way more visible than it was previously. It is looking right at you, and it is beginning to sail in your direction.
And what sort of action did I use to execute this?
Regular action.
Regular action. Okay.
So take a point of inspiration.
Thank you. Unfortunately, first level, I don't think I have anything else I can do as a bonus action. But still being atop my faithful stallion, we will turn towards our foe and ready ourselves to approach them once more.
Amazing. Francis, that is your go.
Francis, seeing that the second one got vanquished by the panic firebolt, and then seeing the final one reveal itself, he's going to sidestep almost backwards because he knows Plato vanished into the dark, and so he's going to sidestep and get hit like almost in between Plato and the second moth, and he is going to prepare a word of radiance in case this moth decides to get close to him.
Sounds good. Any movement or bonus action?
No, he just sidestepped to be in between Plato and the moth.
Perfect. All right, Plato, that's your go. The light's back on. You do see north of you the light of the lantern returned by Sherilyn forecast or casting light upon the trio here of Harkin the horse.
Yes.
Sherilyn and Inara.
Yes. So, but that has lit her up, correct? I still cannot see the moth, which I assume is further than 5 feet.
Yeah, without dark vision,
Yeah.
there's just no way.
Whoops. Sorry, everyone. I will be the one that cannot see until I find somewhere around it. Excellent. Having sort of listened to where Francis has moved to, I sort of try to stumble towards him, moving to just that 20 feet, and then I will hold the action. I cannot use chill touch, obviously that did not help, but I will prepare to cast Mind Sliver on the first enemy that I can see within range of Sherilyn and the horse. So as soon as I can see that enemy, it should be within 60 feet, yes, that is when that spell will go off. And since I have, that will be my turn.
Sounds good. That brings us to the last moth, who is going to use its movement to fully get on top of and float above the trio here. And as it does so, these the void particles coming out of this maw begin to float forward, kind of like this dust of this pure blackness. The smell of it is almost familiar. It smells of decay and death as it kind of begins to coat you all. I need a Constitution saving throw from all three of you.
The horse included.
Yes.
Sherilyn has a 15. And Harkin has a 15.
Inara also rolled a 15, but she's got a +4, so that's a 19.
As you kind of avoid getting any of this dust directly in your eyes, as it is trying to blind you and paralyze you before it engulfs you. All of you remain steady, none of these effects taking in as you have all succeeded. And that is the end of the moth's turn as it hovers directly above you all, fully folding its body back into this gaping void, hungry and present. That brings us to Harkin the horse.
She covers her face with her arm as the creature approaches and spews its awful, shadowy bile. The horse's neck turning away, then redoubling itself as the moth draws close. It leaps across this ruined stone in front of it. And is it too high to hit still?
It is right above you.
It is right above me.
Touch it. Yeah.
Okay.
When she does this, can I see it?
Yeah, absolutely. As it's moving closer, great call out. As it's moving closer, the light does show its body.
Yes, let me move the token slightly closer. There you go. She is still holding the lantern aloft in her left hand. And
which one would you like to go off first? Your attack or my held action?
Is Mind Sliver a saving throw?
Yes.
What's the bonus? I mean, what's the
intelligence?
Oh, okay. This is not going to be good. I think I have a negative here. I do. I have a -4. I rolled
Shiny
a 14.
light.
-4 is an 11.
That does not pass. My -12.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, the minus really getting him under there.
Ooh, 4 points. So the moth here is as the spike is driven in, the sliver is driven in. It is like the sound of a big iron door slamming downward. And it and it will subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw it makes.
Amazing.
As they draw closer and the sliver is driven into the head cartilage of this creature, it flinches. As it does so, Harkin finds his bravery and rears again for another hoof attack at this creature, undaunted by the last time that he got stuck. For a 15 to hit.
As the giant moth kind of turns to the direction of Plato in response to the Mind Sliver, the horse finds this kind of pouch is the wrong word, this kind of pack of many eyes along the side, and perfectly lines the hoof up to hit directly, as that is a hit.
For 7 bludgeoning damage.
Hell yeah. This thing's looking deflated. Just the kind of head remains, its body thin, as it looks very hurt.
It's his turn.
Hell yeah, that brings us to Inara.
Yeah, even though it's looking super hurt, she doesn't want to touch that thing. Or get any closer to it than she absolutely has to. Plus, she's on the ground right now. She did not climb back onto the horse's back, so I would say it's out of her reach. But either way, she will, she's just gonna, cast another fireball cantrip, not wanting to use her dagger or her claws on something that decayed, especially after smelling and seeing that poisonous dust coming out of it. And as she does so, the little ball fire, definitely much more controlled than when she was freaking out at the eyes directly above her, starts forming in the palm of her outstretched hand. That flew off. Nice. 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
I love these dice. These are definitely Nora's dice from now on. And that's 6 points of fire damage.
Inara, the Moth Slayer, how would you like to kill this final moth?
As she watches it sort of melt and sizzle on the ground and fade into nothingness, she giggles a little bit and goes, "Fuck yeah! I don't know what the hell you were, but you cannot mess with someone who survives the desert." And then she immediately runs back to where Plato and Francis are because she's realizing Sherilyn's a little crazy.
Francis, I'm just going to hold on to your robes here, if that is all right. just on your shoulder here, I will just put my hand. That is me, please. Okay.
Is it your water hand or is it your normal hand?
It is my normal. Can't say that correctly.
That's a fair question.
The not water hand, the normal meat hand.
Really? Did it have to be meat?
It's meat.
It
The hand that is not water is meat. This is a Perian saying. No.
Dry hand, wet hand, but I like meat hand, water
Meat.
hand.
Hand of flesh.
You
It's a
have
hand
two
of
hands
flesh.
inside your soul. One water hand and one meat hand.
One meat hand. Like, this is just horrible.
Whatever the water hand offers you, do not take it.
When you swing, it's like a salami.
Oh my god.
I will say that as soon as Inara catches up to you, it's almost like what we just went through didn't even happen, because all she remembers is you throwing away like a droplet that turned into a hand. And so she's just trying to inadvertently, like without you noticing, poke at your arm water to see if she can like get a drop on her finger. And then what would happen if she has a droplet of your arm water on her finger? And she's just like,
You like
are you
flailed.
okay?
It's dark. Where did you come from?
Just wanted to make sure you were okay.
Fine, stop poking my arm.
So what happens if you're walking in the sun? Does it go away?
Sometimes it gets hot, like it boils. Where is Sherilyn?
You can still see her. She's
Crazy lady that hates you is still on the horse.
She's still
They're
sitting.
working
Yep,
on
she's
it.
sitting atop her horse. She has the lantern still in her hand. She's kind of twisting it back and forth, turning the horse in a slow circle.
She is truly being a beacon of light in the darkness.
I do have to say something real quick as you all defeat these moths, escaping from the feast, as you all adventure out from your own individual countries for the first time, together as a unison of all four representations. We are going to be going ahead and leveling up to level 2. Thank you all so much for listening. Please tune in next week for our third episode. Thank you so much, Justin Goddard, for the theme music, and thank you, Julia Folkart, for the cover art. To see more of her art, please check out her Instagram in our show notes. Thank you all again, and see you next week.